She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find.
During a live broadcast, Greg Gutfeld delivered a sharp and unexpected takedown of Jasmine Crockett that left viewers stunned. Armed with razor-sharp wit and no time for pleasantries, Gutfeld dismantled her dramatic points with ease, leaving her at a loss for words. This wasn't a typical exchange of viewpoints. It was a one-sided blowout, despite Crockett coming in with prepared remarks. Anyone who thought political talk was boring had to rethink that idea after this showdown. Crockett clearly hadn't anticipated the storm that was about to hit. Gutfeld charged forward with the energy of a fastball, and the audience didn't just sit back. They erupted with cheers and laughter. Almost instantly, the internet lit up with reactions, clips spread, comments flooded in, and social media buzzed with excitement over what had just unfolded.
She's number one at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jasmine.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white.
Famous for her bold and headline-grabbing one-liners, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was always likely to face a challenge as fierce as Greg Gutfeld. That moment came when she tried to boost her public image by taking her fiery house floor style into the spotlight, but Crockett made a major misstep. She expected Gutfeld to respond with the usual careful tone used by most major news outlets. What she got instead was something entirely different. Gutfeld isn't just about exchanging ideas, he goes all in. Known for his fast-paced wit and unfiltered energy, he cuts through exaggeration with precision. There's no room for rehearsed drama when Gutfeld is in the mix.
Because you married a white woman and so you think that they're whitewashing.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage, or else more Democrats would have voted for this one. Racist!
Rather than focusing on thoughtful messaging, Jasmine Crockett often comes across more as a performer than a policymaker. She's skilled at dominating conversations, throwing in popular phrases, and turning emotional moments into short, attention-grabbing videos. But stepping into unfamiliar territory, she arrived unready and overly confident, only to find herself completely outmatched. Supporters see her as someone who brings energy and fire to the political stage, known for her viral moments and passionate speeches. However, critics argue that her approach feels more like constant noise than real leadership. What some view as a bold stand for justice, others see as over-the-top and exhausting.
First, I go to you for no particular reason. Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices. Because we all get sucked into this. Like, this is... If you're going to talk about black history, at least know it. This is... At least know it. Right?
If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe right away. Gutfeld cut through the noise with his trademark edge, firing off. I already know how this ends, and you're not going to like it. He wasn't stepping into debate. His goal was pure ridicule. Starting with the thought that most people had but wouldn't say out loud, he pointed to Crockett's carefully crafted act. Behind the shouting and staged outrage, Crockett thrives on viral moments, using over-the-top drama to prop up the image of a serious lawmaker. Gutfeld's jab came in response to Crockett's latest performance, where she mixed in race-charged distractions along with her usual partisan showmanship.
Back to... that was... 45 seconds of some of the... Like, Kamala, you good right now. was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to their dumbass stuff. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come to this country to work in agriculture and equitation and factories? Get rid of the lottery. Open it up. Talk to the president. Hey, we got a plan. We want to make it easier for people who can vet and come in and work in this country. Come up with an idea. Besides, any of y'all want to pick cotton? Like, we're in suits in the middle of the Midwest. Why would we pick cotton? It's like the extreme stupidness of what she speaks. I'm so angry.
Crockett wasn't focused on substance. She was chasing viral clips, the kind of political spectacle Gutfeld sees as the least meaningful. Instead of highlighting real concerns or standing firmly on principle, she leaned on theatrics. But when the spotlight hit, the reflection wasn't flattering. Gutfeld peeled back the layers of her act, exposing the contradictions, the shaky logic, and the fragile foundation of her arguments. And this wasn't some one-off clash. His response didn't need to be loud. Its quiet precision carried a sharper sting, dripping with silent disdain. Jasmine Crockett has built her reputation as Congress's leading performer, staging new outbursts every time the cameras roll, each punctuated with dramatic pauses. Yet this time, her act fell flat, overshadowed by exaggerated expressions and a handful of buzzwords designed more for attention than for depth. What mattered most wasn't the message, but the performance. And Gutfeld didn't just answer her, he dissected it. Every flashy gesture, every manufactured outrage, every gimmicky headline, he stripped them down with blunt common sense and biting wit, leaving nothing but the emptiness of the show behind.
Tilnade, she's getting to be the face of that party.
I know, thanks to your show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more popular, this or The View on Gutfeld. But a couple of things. Did you see, at first I thought she was doing it for comedic purposes, but you watch back, nobody had a response. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And she's like, oh, really? Farming? Yes, it's called eating, farming. America's got the best farmers in the world. There's glory in doing it. People do it, and the people don't do it by hand anymore. This isn't 1820. So I was just stunned by what she's saying. But the weird thing is, she probably left that room thinking she knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that anyone can stop her from being the face of the party, except Bernie Sanders, who's 111 years old, talking about.
Gutfeld pulled apart the contradictions laced throughout Crockett's rants, mocking how hollow her fury really was. She talks about unity, yet in the next breath claims that anyone who challenges her must be part of some grand scheme to silence her so-called brilliance. Then came the sharper blow. Gutfeld exposed her performance as nothing more than a diversion, carefully staged to distract from the reality that she has achieved virtually nothing of consequence. He didn't just critique her behavior, he examined her record, or more accurately, the lack of one. For all the viral clips and exaggerated interviews where she shouts the same limited talking points at ever-increasing volume, Crockett has delivered no landmark legislation, no notable wins, just noise. As Gutfeld put it, Crockett is not a leader, but a brand. She mirrors a reality TV contestant who mistakes stirring controversy for having genuine influence. The result, her fan pages on Instagram may grow, but the nation gains nothing from the spectacle.
Do you have an opinion on this? Or should I move on to somebody?
No, it has to come from me.
Yes.
Okay. None of y'all are qualified. Not just for one thing, I'm mad at Charmaine the guy because he should have kicked her out. See, the problem is that we are allowing our own culture to be openly racist and get away with it. Now, if a white person is offended by that, and they should be, they say something, it's like, it's not the same thing. But if you say that, and another brother looks at you and goes, man, you wrong for that. And I don't want you on my show. Get the hell out, because I'm telling you right now, if I was not on the show, which happens sometimes, and someone was sitting in his chair and he was complaining about black men this and black that, and they shouldn't be here, and you know what happens when a white woman marries a black guy, you would not have seen that guy in the next segment. He would have kicked his ass off, because you're not going to talk about somebody that I care about like that, or another person like that.
As expected, Crockett's loyal base rushed to her defense faster than you could blink, crying identity politics at every turn. And to them, any critique was rooted in prejudice, whether sexism, racism, or, oddly enough, fear of her supposed influence. Gutfeld wasn't having it. With sharp clarity, he cut through the noise, reminding everyone that accountability isn't hate and that if you can't handle pushback, maybe politics isn't the arena for you. One viral meme summed it up with brutal humor, a towering Gutfeld looming over a cartoon Crockett caption, "Sit down and learn something." The irony, Crockett wasn't ambushed. She walked onto the stage, mic in hand, ready to dish out criticism. But when the heat came back her way, she twisted, dodged, and yelled, while Gutfeld countered with calm precision, facts, wit, and sarcasm sharp enough to slice through her talking points. She hadn't anticipated that kind of response, and it showed. Before long, clips of the exchange were being replayed online like highlight reels from a political UFC fight. Every jab, every strike, every blow landing harder than the last. And Sass?
Although I'm not saying a great taste. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, man.
Gutfeld wasn't just skewering a single sloppy soundbite. He was targeting the entire spectacle-driven style of politics that Crockett embodies. With humor that cut too cleanly to ignore, he spotlighted how today's politicians often mistake media clout for genuine leadership. Watching her act was like seeing someone toss handfuls of flashy, useless glitter onto a fire. Loud, messy, and entirely ineffective. Even some of her own supporters began backing away, recognizing this was a fight not worth defending. And then came the finishing blow. Her flimsy arguments dismantled, her hollow record laid bare, and her showmanship ridiculed. Real leadership is about showing up, putting in the work, and delivering results, not chasing viral moments, Gutfeld reminded everyone. It's not about who can yell the loudest or sling accusations at critics. Because if you put spectacle over substance, someone like Greg Gutfeld will be waiting to call you out, tearing up the script, dousing the performance in satire, and leaving you exposed under the spotlight of public embarrassment. Jasmine Crockett learned that lesson the hard way.
Jesse, they called Musk a Nazi, and next thing you know, you got swastikas on cars. They called Trump Hitler and a Nazi and a fascist, and he got shot. So I don't really ever see that happening on the Republican side when we make fun of Democrats. It's also about the supporters, not just the leaders. It seems like Democrats are easily programmed to do bad things.
Yes, they are. They're very easily programmed, right?
This wasn't just a takedown, it was a warning in motion. Greg Gutfeld didn't simply dismantle Jasmine C's performance. He turned it into a cautionary tale for every politician addicted to social media applause, confusing likes and retweets with genuine leadership and mistaking viral meltdowns for actual achievements. With biting sarcasm, he scrawled across the moment, "We see you, we're tired, and we're done clapping," because this wasn't a debate, not even a dialogue, but the intellectual equivalent of barging into a vegan potluck, carrying a rack of ribs and a megaphone. The response? No cheers from the audience, no viral wave of support, just the heavy silence and secondhand embarrassment that follows a stunt gone terribly wrong, like watching someone attempt a dramatic backflip only to land flat. Crockett reached for her usual arsenal, anger mixed with buzzwords, hoping to mask the obvious truth. But her logic was full of holes, sinking fast, like a submarine that could barely hold together.
They cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard.
Crockett fired off catchphrases like voice of the people, systemic oppression, and the ever-present "let me finish." But as she stumbled through the chaos, flailing like a glitching robot, none of her slogans could get past Gutfeld's calm, almost mocking stare. It was like watching someone try to yell a grease fire into submission, loud but useless. Gutfeld's dismantling of her act was so steady and measured, it felt less like a clash and more like customer service. He never needed to raise his voice. In fact, he gave the impression of someone already wondering what to order for lunch, while politely assuring her, "We understand you're upset, but please hold while we find someone who cares." The ease with which he handled her was striking. He stayed in control without effort, so much so you could almost imagine elevator music playing in his head as he delivered his cutting remarks. And in a room packed with inflated egos, his sharp one-liners burst like confetti, drawing laughter and turning heads. What began as Crockett's attempt at a bold moment quickly transformed into a live demonstration of what happens when a loud politician is forced to face the weight of reality.
And said she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where is Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back.
By the time Crockett realized what had happened, Gutfeld had already walked off the battlefield, leaving the Empress to live stream her own collapse. His calm detachment carried the weight of someone who understood this wasn't just a debate, it was a cultural autopsy. Her supporters scrambled to patch the wreckage. Think pieces popped up, tweets flew, and somewhere an Instagram caption about misogyny was drafted in a hurry, though none of it could undo the damage. It was too late. Gutfeld hadn't only dismantled Jasmine Crockett, he delivered a warning shot to an entire crop of performance politicians who mistake clicks for competence and anger for authority. What stung Crockett most was that he never resorted to theatrics, no shouting, no fist pounding, and instead he wielded the sharp timing of a late-night host who's seen the circus too many times, mixing surgical mockery with cool, steady facts. That distance, that unbothered calm, cut deeper than outrage ever could. Crockett clutched the microphone, waiting for applause that never came. The moment was the political equivalent of singing your heart out at karaoke, only to realize the bar was empty and the mic wasn't even turned on.
And keep this thing that she wasn't talking about, the wheelchair.
Yeah. Come on, babe, you know you're full of and all that Jasmine. I think what happened was AOC was like,
you guys, I need to triangulate and be serious now because I'm going to be a senator. So someone has to be a talking attention whore. Who's it going to be?
and Jasmine raised her hand and goes, excuse me, Congresswoman Cortez, I speak jive.
She tried her hardest, but it didn't work out because hashtags aren't a plan and shouting isn't a strategy. What unfolded wasn't a debate at all. It was a collision between truth and theatrics, content and spectacle. Crockett leaned on catchphrases and anger, flailing like a performer stuck in a loop, but none of it broke through Gutfeld's steady, sarcastic calm. He didn't need to shout back, slam a fist, or raise the temperature. His detached composure carried more sting than outrage ever could. This moment wasn't just another left-right clash, it was something larger. It revealed the hollowness of performance politics, the idea that viral clips can substitute for real leadership. Crockett, like so many others, treated Congress as a stage, mistaking retweets for results and Instagram applause for genuine victories. But politics is not a reality show. It isn't meant to be a platform for self-promotion wrapped in outrage. It's about outcomes, not optics. And here's where Gutfeld flipped the script. He didn't just dismantle one politician's act, he spotlighted a growing vulnerability in American politics. The rise of the viral politician, the influencer in office. These figures see every speech as a choreographed performance, every hearing as a set piece, every bill as a background prop. They confuse volume with strength, headlines with achievements. Gutfeld reminded everyone that when you treat politics like an influencer house, there will always be someone ready to step in and expose the farce. He was that figure, waiting in the wings with sharp humor, steady facts, and a monologue that not only ended the performance, but transformed it into a cautionary tale. Crockett wanted a standing ovation. Instead, she walked off with silence and a reminder that spectacle doesn't equal substance.